I miss Overwatch. Like the real Overwatch. I found out about the game early on in development through a friend, and I really liked the concept. I fell in love with the game playing the beta, and bought it shortly after it was released, and I played Overwatch on and off over the years. I was present for every balance patch and game update, for better or worse. I remember a time when Overwatch was in early development and there was talk of a story mode for the game, to delve deeper into the lore of Overwatch. That was actually the main reason I bought the game in the first place, as I'm not typically a fan of first-person shooters like this. But Overwatch was different. I really liked the toonish graphics, the music, and all the different characters with equally different personalities and abilities. So I kept playing the game despite the absence of a story mode, opting to wait for the developers to add one in. That never ended up happening. Instead, somewhere around 2018, Blizzard decided to abandon Overwatch entirely to create an Overwatch 2 that nobody asked for, and their only justification for doing so was adding the story mode that people had been asking about since the game was in beta. Blizzard promised that despite Overwatch 2 coming out, they would still keep the base game around for the original fanbase, considering they were making massive changes in Overwatch 2, such as huge tank buffs, and of course the change to 5v5. Fast forward to the release of Overwatch 2, and the devs went back on that promise, deleting Overwatch and moving everyone over to Overwatch 2. Which begs the question, why even call it Overwatch 2? Why not just make these changes to the base game? The only other real changes to the game are the removal of the option to earn credits, and the removal of loot boxes so that everything is based on a battle pass like it's Fortnite. I'm really not a fan of this system, and I'm especially disappointed with the change because the previous currency system was bad enough. Before, you had to earn coins to buy skins, unless you felt like buying a bunch of loot boxes to hopefully get the skin that you want. And this would have been a fine system if the amount of coins you were able to earn per match was actually a reasonable number. But no, you only ever earned 25 coins per match, and most of the good skins in the game cost 1,000 minimum. And if you want a new event skin, they cost 3,000. Good luck earning all those coins if you have a job and a life outside of Overwatch. In Overwatch 1, you would get credits for playing tank and support because nobody wanted to play those roles. It was all about DPS. Now, in Overwatch 2, you get credits for playing DPS and support. Damage used to be the main role everyone wanted to play, but ever since the GOATS era of 3 tanks and 3 supports, DPS have felt severely underwhelming, to say the least. Eventually, in Overwatch 1, Blizzard quote-unquote fixed the issue by forcing 2-2-2 comps to synthetically allow DPS to shine again. This did work for a while, but now that Overwatch 2 is out, and tanks are now busted as all hell, these issues are cropping up again. When I heard that Blizzard was making Overwatch 2, I was at least hoping that they would improve things like the currency system, especially when I learned that they cancelled the PvE plans, which was the entire reason they did Overwatch 2 in the first place. Now, that said, it does seem like they are doing some PvE stuff now, probably because they upset a lot of fans, but to me it seems to be too little too late. Especially with the price tag they're asking for seemingly the same baseline, boring stuff we were already getting in the base game since the Uprising event in 2017. The only logic behind the decision to make Overwatch 2, other than the obvious greedy financial motivations, was the move to a free-to-play model, which was good for the game's dying player base. But I just can't help thinking, they wouldn't have had to move to a free-to-play model to get players if they didn't royally fuck over the community they already had. The player base wouldn't have abandoned the game if the devs hadn't done so first. If Blizzard had simply listened to the community about obvious bugs and necessary balance changes, instead of letting characters like Bridget and Echo run unchecked and dictate the meta, there would be no need for the desperate switch to free-to-play and a Fortnite-esque battle pass. They could have simply divided their time between maintaining the live game and working on the story content they'd been talking about for years, eventually releasing that as DLC for Overwatch 1, and the game never would have lost its momentum. But instead of balancing the game or even fixing bugs for months on end, Blizzard overestimated their ability to keep a fanbase, and shot themselves in the foot in the pursuit of squeezing as much money out of Overwatch as they could. Forgetting the fact that they ignored the game for so long for just a moment, the fact that they did so because they saw their massive player base as a bunch of dollar signs to capitalize on is just disgusting. Blizzard is an awful company, and after the absolute disaster of being an Overwatch fan, I doubt I'll ever touch a Blizzard game again. Overwatch is a hollow Battle Pass subscription-based shell of what it used to be, and I almost wish Blizzard would open up an old-school RuneScape-style server for original Overwatch, just so I could remember what the game was like when it was actually good. But knowing Blizzard, they'd probably just slap a 3 on the title and ship it out as a new game. Do you share my hatred of Overwatch, or did you just stick around to listen to me complain? Share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to my channel to see more videos like this one. Thanks for watching and take it easy.